of my friends say, girl, you better take care.
Hello, Stealth community. We're the Ninja Stealth community, and we talk on facts. We talk on happenings in the world. This channel is was brought up to bring you a little joy. We're the original prop channel, but lately here the props are sort of edging away because it's so much turmoil in the world. We'll get back to it, but I don't see a smiling matter right now. And I know we're supposed to give you a laugh or two, but some of these points are just, I want to elaborate on. And we're here to try, like I said, help the community. If I can help one of you, like I said, we've done our job. One thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This means a lot to us. We want to grow the channel in an overall way to help you. We want you. We want to grow the channel large because there's things that we can do so much for the mother that can't feed her kids. Free donations for the kids that need help. Free donations for our Marine Guards who are out in the streets. Let's give them a hand. And I've always said that if all the stars in the world and pro sportsmen just put $1 million into the bank, the things we could do for people in this country, the money that we sent over to Ukraine, oh my goodness. We could improve our structures in this country, our roads, we got bridges that haven't even been finished, hit by boats, and so forth. Could improve schools, or fires that burn, could straighten it out. New Orleans is still reaping from Katrina, their storm. The things we could do for America. Democrats keep the money going out because we already found out as that money goes out, supposed to help certain situations, it doesn't never reach there. Comes right back into America, but we don't see it. But follow the money. They're rich. They are rich. And if they care so much about us, they would change that. They would give to the community. All they do is want to give more taxes so they get their raises and move up. Chicago is wheeling. It's going wild. Of course, we got Governor Pritzker in a boat somewhere going down the river with his wife, saying everything's straight in Chicago. It's a beautiful place. There's no crime here, with his security guards and stuff around him. Go in the middle of the city where the crime is, 12 o'clock at night, since everything's so straight, prisoner. Buy yourself a hot dog. You and your wife walk in hand. Leave the security behind. Then come talk to me. I hate fakeness in everything He's sick of hearing this Donald Trump. Donald Trump. When Kamala was running with president, Donald Trump. Every word out of her mouth was Donald Trump. And it's the Trump syndrome. And the way y'all reacted towards Charlie Kirk's death, rest in peace. God forbid something happened to Trump. Y'all partied till 1999. Something is wrong with this system. When I grew up, even if you dislike the man, you don't want to destroy him. You don't want to kill him. You just ride on your side, I'm going to ride on mine. I disagree with everything he's saying. We can get along just fine. But today, you kill. Silence him, kill him. So, henceforth, not in a real giddy move to do the props. So much is going on. And if you didn't know, now you know. They said that they didn't need any help in Chicago, that the people didn't want it, and they were against it. Unless I've got the wrong people up, beg to differ from the things that I'm hearing. Let's see if we can bring this up here and
Chicago have liberals in Chicago have the privilege of being able to say that we don't need the National Guard here in Chicago. They have the privilege of saying that because they keep themselves in their careful bubbles of Lincoln Park, Wicker Park. They stay up in some of the northern areas and they go and frolic at the beach, playing volleyball and pickleball and tennis in these areas where it's clean. There's minimal crime. Of course you feel like we don't need the National Guard because you've never stepped foot on the actual south and west side. Elitist progressives and leftist white Chicagoans have the privilege of not needing the National Guard in order to feel safe in their communities. They walk out their door in the morning with their babies to go get a quick coffee and their kid on a scooter with a helmet. That's privilege. That's the same privilege that you claim you want to be a part of unpacking and getting away from. It's the yuppie white women in Chicago who want to scream about Trump being fascist, yet they keep themselves carefully, safely tucked away in Lincoln Park. Come to Woodlawn. And not the cute part. No, go past 63rd. Come to Auburn Gresham. Chatham. Inglewood. Get on your scooter there. And do it about 7 o'clock.
Won't happen.
Okay. If you're not going to do that, mind your business.
So it just gone from bad to worse to disastrous.
No one really feels safe. It's impossible to feel safe in a city like this, especially with the leadership we have.
The kids nowadays, they're just wreaking havoc in all of the neighborhoods. We didn't play with guns and we didn't listen to drill rap music like at this very young age. Like these kids are carrying guns like around the ages of 8 years old and they're killing other 8-year-old kids with guns. It's insane.
So the governor and the mayor, Brandon Johnson, the governor and the mayor of Chicago are saying that they don't want Trump to come to Chicago because they're upset with him This is so stupid. They're mad because he pulled grants for violence prevention or whatever it is that he pulled back in the spring. Talking about, well, you took the money, so you can't help us. If the money and the grants did not work, because God knows where that money went, you try a different strategy to stop the violence. The violence is still continuing. People are still being murdered down there all the time. So you don't want him to send the National Guard. And then I was watching on a video on YouTube. I forgot who the guy was, but it was still the mayor. He was being asked the question. He said, hey, if 5,000 troops or if 5,000 more policemen were released on the streets of Chicago, do you think that would help? He refused to answer the question. He kept saying, well, let's be clear here. When I was growing up, he just started to... All he did was divert the question. He would not just say, hey, he said, look, I'm going to ask you one more time. He was like, would it be beneficial just off that alone? Everything else you said that's good, affordable housing, okay, we got all of that. What if we gave you 5,000 more police officers to police the city? Would that help? He refused to answer the question. He kept diverting it. And you know what? All the Democrats do that. They always divert. If you say, they will never give Trump credit for anything good that he's done. They won't give him credit for any of that. They will still spew their hatred. And those people are dangerous. Those are the people that will never admit that they're wrong. Even when all the cards are laid out and say, hey, this is where you're wrong right here. Do you agree? Because it's been proven this is where you're wrong with this. They will absolutely divert and they will not admit the truth. In the world where we continue to give money for a program that's obviously it's proven not to work, because we don't know where the money truly went, but the program didn't work. So why would I continue to fund something that's not providing a benefit? It's not stopping the issue. It's not stopping the murders. It's not stopping the violence. Why would I continue to give money? I'm going to try a different strategy. I'm going to put the cops in there and scare everybody. Not just scare everybody, but lock these criminals up like they should be. And they're not giving him credit for anything that's going on in D.C. The fact that the murders are down, that they haven't had any murders reported for the past 12 days or something like that. People are happy. People are feeling safe. There are even Democrats, black Democrats, because they don't even know why the heck they're Democrat. They don't even know, truth be told. But anyway, they've just been told to follow the narrative because they are black. That's Negro here nor there. They're even showing support. They're like, dang, I wouldn't vote for Trump, but it does feel good to go outside and there's nobody out here and there's nobody doing this and nobody doing that. Thank you. Because you are seeing true results. That is what Trump is providing. Stop and tell y'all that, because the way that he was talking, Trump, don't come here. We don't need your help. Who's going to help you then? Who's going to help the mothers that continue to lose children? Who's going to help these black men out here that ain't got no self-control? They need to be locked up somewhere so they can realize the error of their way. Anyway.
Well, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, signed an executive order to instruct his law enforcement not to work with the feds, right? I thought executive orders was Nazi and fascism. I thought that they were a threat to democracy, but another instance of hypocrisy. Rules for thee, not for me. You see what's happening in Chicago, right? Chicago is monetizing crime. Chicago is monetizing crime. The crime goes up. They're like, hey, Fed, send us more dollars. They throw a little bit of crumbs to the police unions, and they funnel the rest to the NGOs to continue to care for migrants, right? Because they're sanctuary city. And hands off of our voters, as they often say. What Trump needs to do is send a Doge team out there, send the National Guard to protect those Doge team, right? And audit the whole city, top to bottom. Because you got to root the corruption out. Everybody, put cases on everybody, starting with Brandon Johnson. The Chicago Flips Red Crew, try to get the feds to audit everything, all the books, preserve every last one of y'all documents, from the text chains to the emails. Everybody got to get looked at. Look under everything, see where those dollars went. Because Chicago is at a deficit, and it's not going to end this year. It's just going to compound, and then your city going to go bankrupt, and then all the jobs going to flee, and it's going to be Detroit, like what happened to Detroit during the 08 housing crisis, and when all those bailouts had to go to the big autos. That's what's going to happen to Chicago shortly, in a hurry. And by that time, Brandon Johnson probably going to punt the football to some other poor mayor that ain't going to know what he's doing. So until there's an audit, they just going to keep playing with y'all money. So the taxpayers, we want to know where those dollars went. I guess another page out of the woke, liberal, politically confused Democratic handbook says that if President Trump is for it and wants to sincerely help you, do not let him push back at all costs, even if it means allowing your own community and constituents to continue to be hurt, harmed, or killed. The governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago are refusing to allow Trump to help them by sending in the National Guard and helping the local PD reduce crime in the city of Chicago, because they say there's 30 other states with higher crime rate than Chicago. Bull. Chicago is one of the highest murder capitals in the freaking United States of America. We've all seen it. We all heard the news. The governor is floating down this river or whatever in a boat in Chicago yesterday, talking about, look how peaceful it is. Me and my wife just walked for ice cream over the weekend. Yeah, you didn't walk down the city, in the inner city. You didn't go where they're actually shooting and killing people. You went with your security guards where you're safe and protected. So tell that bullshit to the mother and the grandmothers and the fathers of them kids that are being killed on a weekly basis in the city of Chicago. Do you believe crime is actually down in Chicago and they don't need the president's help? Or do you believe they absolutely need the president's help and the National Guard to come in, because we cannot afford to lose another American life on the city streets in Chicago?
You know the reason that the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago don't really care about the crime and they're pretending like it doesn't exist? Because it's mostly isolated to the South Side. It's isolated to the regions where black people are the majority. This is where the crime. You guys are killing each other. Why would they care? How could that matter to them? There are no civilians in their eyes, like in these areas, because this is what these areas were created for: population control, prison labor, like to keep this cycle perpetuated. This is what it was created for. So of course they're going to pretend like Chicago. But as you've seen over this weekend, over every weekend, bro, why shouldn't these people deserve to live in peace? Why shouldn't your grandma be able to walk down the street without worrying about? Why should little kids be able to walk around and play without getting shot to death? Why can't you sit in your car without niggas shooting your car up? And them people deserve to be safe, bro. The criminals, bro.
Chicago. Y'all really outdid yourself. I'm convinced now that the National Guard really is going to be here. It was either the mayor or the governor confirmed that, per the information that they received, that the National Guard should be here by Friday. Y'all do too much. Like, the senseless gun violence is absolutely mind-boggling. But these things must occur because we are living in the last days. And you could talk to you blue in the face like I'm doing. You could be outside protesting like others are doing. And it still must happen because the Bible prophecies cannot be stopped. But let me touch on this, though. It was so sad to see those older women on 47th who got hit in crossfire or were targeted, don't know. The elderly women on the ground, who got shot. Like, what's going on? The two women in the gardens that just lost their lives a day apart due to gun violence. Yeah. Absolutely insane. 36th and Ellis, mass shooting. Mellow Bucks party, mass shooting. 39th picnic, mass. What's going on? Y'all don't have nothing else to do with your life? You don't see nothing else to do with your life? Like, it's unreal. And thanks to y'all, you finna mess it up. You've messed it up for everybody. See, when they come out here, because they came out here in the 60s before, and they was bothering regular citizens, people that's mad in their business. See, when they come out here, it's going to be different from D.C. They coming out here to have a funky good old time because Chicago has this reputation and is a known city that's stricken with violence. So they coming out here to have a funky good old time. Just know that. You not no sniper. You don't have the tactical training that they have. You have none of that. I don't care if you think you're the biggest YN in Iraq.
You can't hold a candle to them people, really. And they could legally put you down. Legally put you down. So, and then there's so many egos out here. I really don't see this being a good thing at all. And like I say, it's going to go completely different from what it is in D.C. That's light work. They coming out here on straight business dealing with y'all, for real. And yeah, just messed it up for everybody. Like, it's unreal. But y'all be safe, though.
You know, I want everybody to understand that anything the Democrats say, it's usually the opposite. So when Mayor Johnson stood there before the press and signed that executive order saying that it is to protect the people of Chicago, he meant the opposite. I mean, you have the National Guard, the federal government coming to help your city, which is in crisis due to crime, and you're blocking them. You're telling police departments, your law enforcement agencies, to not collaborate with the National Guard. A city that you know have a problem with crime. Every week there's a shooting. I just watched a video of individuals on a football field on the floor because there was shots fired at the football game. And there's not an issue going on with crime in Chicago. This guy is gaslighting. He's gaslighting. He deserved a pair of cuffs for himself. And I hate to see the people of Chicago vote for such scum. I hate to see it. But this is who you vote for. This is exactly who you pick. You know, vote blue no matter who. This is the who. This guy is incompetent. And he has shown time and time again that he's incompetent and he lacks leadership. And I think that the people of Chicago should do the right thing and get him out of office because they deserve to have safety in their city.
In Chicago, everybody got to get down. Everybody got to get down because they shoot. Everybody down. Look, these kids are running. They shooting. We can't have no fun in Chicago, man. No fun, man. This is terrible.
So Brandon, and not the former president, let's go Brandon, if you know you know, but Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, I hear, is reportedly calling for the citizens to take to the streets if President Trump does indeed send in the National Guard. Wouldn't that be like inciting a riot or inciting violence? Just asking for a friend of a friend, you know. At any rate, you guys, that would be the reason, Mayor Johnson, why President Trump is considering taking or sending the National Guard to your city is because your people have already taken to the streets. Oh, I swear I'm so tired of these bought and paid for politicians. It's almost as if they literally took Lucifer up on his offer when he said, all of these things will I give thee if you bow down and worship me. But like the good book says, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? But it seems like nowadays that's the only trade deals that liberals are interested in. Shout out to President Trump for making America great again. MAGA!
Hey, what's up, y'all? Chicago. I'm talking to Chicago residents specifically. I know everybody in this tussle about Trump bringing the National Guard or whatever, but y'all know how bad it is here. And it's like everybody must have forgot what happened in 2020. If y'all forgot, let me remind you. This right here. I took this picture going to the grocery store. I was going to the grocery store. Y'all know the grocery store right there on Canal in Roosevelt, Jewel. I was going there to get a few things. We were in the middle of the pandemic. But they had called the National Guard then because of all of the looting and destroying the businesses, and these kids was out of control. It was in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know why I don't get off into all that political mumbo jumbo. I'm not on either side. I ain't no Trump supporter. I ain't no none of that. But at the end of the day, you live here. You know how bad it is here. CPD do not care. CPD, they got these new laws now that they can't even, really arrest nobody. It's not, it really ain't nothing for them to do. They like some, what do you call crossing guards, really? They didn't put all these laws in place where CPD can't do nothing. They like just some crossing guards. That's all they are. So yeah, I'm not against them. Bring them on. Is all these smash and grabs going on now? All these kids jumping on cars? It's just terrible. Bring them. This too. I guess y'all must have forgot they done been here before. When it got bad in 2020, this was in June of 2020. When it got bad like that, the National Guard came. Listen, I want to be protected. I don't want to be out here and somebody, pill popping ass son think I'm breakfast for him or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be somewhere where I'm afraid to walk around. So yeah, no, bring them. Cause it's getting out of control. I was at the gas station on 55th. If you from the city, you already know that was Death Trap right there off Wentworth, off the expressway. But I had caught a flat. I got it and I pulled into that shell right there. Next thing I know, it's about 10 CPD police cars cornered this Kia, this white Kia. And it wasn't nothing but them young boys. It was about 8 of them got out that little small Kia. They had the machine guns. They had all types of they running from the police, I guess, because they had stole the car. I mean, listen, my daughter is grown and gone. But I promise you, if I had a son, if I had young children, I would probably move them someplace else other than Chicago. Somewhere in the suburb, country area or something. Because it's just not safe. So I'm not against it. I guess everybody want to act blind and act like they forgot. But this was in 2020.
The carnage, Chicago Mayor.
Wow. Y'all getting it off the news. It's not me talking. Everything's all right in Chicago. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson. That's terrible. But they're living good, like I said before. They're in good areas. They don't care, and everything's Donald Trump for it. He's not even in Chicago. People don't want the help. It's not what I see. They're all asking for the help. Young kids gone wild. Chicago gone wild. Destroying the city. And something she said, they got so many laws against CP there that they're like crossing guards. Don't get arrested for no crimes, nothing. That's that cash bail. Oh, we're going to spank you on the hand. If you promise to show up to court, we'll tell you what we want you to do and try and get you on probation where you can do a little time and show the community that you're a help. And it's killing innocent people. Talked about 2 old ladies got killed in the park, just sitting there. What is it coming to? One girl talked about God. These rules are going to be fulfilled. That's what I'm talking about. You can push it in any narrative way you want to. This is it. This is the oppression. This is it. Jesus is coming. And you cannot stop it. Food shortages, pestilence, disease, children rising against parents, parents rising against children. The laws of the land are no more. It's all here. She spoke of moving out of the city with her child to grow up somewhere where it's safe. But all the time they're saying it's safe. Even his own community is challenging Pritzker and Brandon to go downtown in the midst of that. But they won't do it. This is a narrative that I'm talking about, that the Democrats are pushing and pushing, but they're not going to stand up to it. They're not dealing with it. So they're asking for Donald Trump to come. And shout out to Californians, to Chicago people and Californians for what they have to endure. Because if law is laid down right, you don't have that no more. And like I said, I wish everybody well. I wish everybody secure. And here from Stell Community, we love the community. We love our people, black, white, green, or yellow. And if this video affects you in any way, or makes you think in any way, go ahead and hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe, because we're trying to grow this channel for you. Because it don't matter where you're from. You can write in. Once we get everything going, you're down, you need help, show us where. We're donating to it. To grow a community that helps. Not just sit here and talk, but helps. Like I said, it's bringing out a real serious side, because we are the #1 prop channel. It's bringing out a serious side, because I genuinely care about people, and that concerns me. So subscribe to the channel, please, so we can keep growing it and make things happen quickly. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.